What a day! Oh, the queen of Survivor.
Oy.
I know you go through the experience when you're actually on the show, you're filming and everything, and then you go through another experience when you know your day is coming. What was
Oh,
what
yeah.
and here's the thing, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to the first time you met King George and Simon and
Okay.
Flick. I mean, y'all were all on the same situation, y'all was on the same adventure first time out. Is How does that experience compare to this experience?
That experience was very different for me. Um, but it was really nice to know that we had each other on this tribe. Like we're friends. Like Simon, Flick, me, George, we're all
Yeah.
friends, which is good, but it's kind of scary. So I start this game. I'm the only returning winner, so that's scary. There's five returning players on my tribe, but seven new ones, so I'm outnumbered already. And there's four people from my last season, which, although that might be good, it's also a big threat. Like, if people think that we're all friends and that we're going to work together, they're going to have to try to start to target us, right? So it made us have to kind of throw each other under the bus. Me and Flick
What?
started off in heroes, and we're like, we don't like Simon, we don't like George, we won't work with them, like just so that the other people didn't like see us as a target for that reason.
I know when it first started off and we got the initial cast release and everybody was saying who was who. And what's funny is I met George in December and I didn't know who he was. And we shared a room down at a charity event. And I was like, he's a nice guy. And I've watched him play the game of Survivor. And I'm like, he's doing a master class. But come on, Hayley, you doing a master class yourself. You've been throwing him up under the bus for the last three tribals.
Oof, yeah, like George's biggest like only like clutch really is that he wants to go to the end with me. So like as you say, like he's a nice guy. He's fun to hang out with and he's really good at Survivor. Um and like that's so fun to watch. But do you really want to sit next to that guy at the end? Like I rolled the dice on that last time I played and it worked out. So I won against George last time we played. I don't think I want to roll the dice on that twice. Not now. Not after the man's like been tattooing idols on his body and he's been like thinking about this for ages. Like he has leveled up the game.
Now,
So,
as
you know,
as a viewer, we were kind of like, wait a minute, Hayley and George are working together. Every time there was a challenge and there was something that we need to chit chat about, George and Hayley was back off chit chat. So it made us as viewers look at the show and was like, wait a minute, this might be something that's going to actually take hold and actually work. Then we saw Hayley come over there and said, nope, not today.
well, like I would have been very open to it. And like for a lot of that game, I was thinking, look, if it works out for me, also next to George, like it worked out great last time. So I have to kind of assess and figure out like George is so fun to work with. Like, and the lesson with George is if you work against him, you better shoot hard and shoot him, and that's it. Like, you can't let it drag out because like he'll get
No.
you. So I think that yeah, I'm happy I took a shot. You got to take a shot, like, and I have to do it in the shadows. I'm too big of a target otherwise.
Now, you and George were probably the biggest targets all season, but you chose to go with Simon as a possible ally. And we've seen Simon just kind of just fight his way and claw his way. Now, I got to ask a question. Now, you've seen the episode tonight. What do you think about the rice being thrown out?
Oh, Simon, isn't he fun? We were starving out there. Like, I don't know if you've spoken to Shawnee, but she was struggling with the food. Like, it was really hard. So I love watching Simon's antics. Like, he really wants to play the game, but no one's giving him any ropes. So he's just going to play like the game within the game and like burn hats and get rid of rice. And like, I love it. Like, I think it's fun. Um, yeah, good for him. I know he seems like a bit of an unlikely ally, but at this point in the game where there's this many people left, all I'm thinking about is who can I beat at the end? Like, I don't want to move to the end of the game with people I can't beat. Like, I only want to move with people I can beat.
Now, out of the remaining, we got six left. We got six left. As we look at those six, and you look at who would you should have aligned yourself with on the last vote, going into this last vote, Because it's obvious that when the blind side came, you didn't see the blind side coming. Who was the one that you think you should have aligned yourself with more?
I think I should have Nina. Like Nina was key in that vote. And Nina is flexible. She's a flexible player. She's willing to do what she can to the end. She hasn't necessarily worked with me or George. Like she's worked against both of us in the season. So she could go with either side and she'll go with whoever can get her further. And George offered her like a final three. Will they stick to it? Who knows? Let's see. But I didn't offer her that. And I didn't give her the reassurance she needed. So that was my fault, that like I really needed to like hit Nina the minute we got back after that tribal, reassure her or take the heat for that vote and not put it on her. But I think she would have come across if I'd have worked hard with her.
Now let's go back a little while when there was an opportunity to send somebody over to the villain tribe. And Jerry was the one that y'all sent over. From the viewer's perspective, it looks like Jerry is saying, you know what? I care not what's going on. I'm going to stick with George until the end.
And we see this in the last season we played as well, where Kara gets sent to the other tribe, and George does a really good job at like we're bringing up the people who feel like they've been downtrodden, and Jerry definitely felt that way. Yeah, I think like I didn't really have a lot of sway in who went that day. Like I kind of wanted it to be Paige, but no one. The big alliance didn't want to lose Paige because she was like an extra vote. But I would have liked that. But yeah, I think they did a good job at, if someone comes into your camp and they've just been voted off by everyone else, come on, that's like a perfect person to bring under your wing.
Oh, always. Now you're in the field of pain management, and Survivor's in the field of inflicting pain on people. Did your background help you as you went through challenges that were really like this last challenge where they were sitting in the chair and they had to hold it up and Nina was the winner? Does your pain management help you in situations like that?
Yeah, I think that so the pain management stuff with me, yeah, it does work. It does work when the only thing that's keeping you in there or not is your tolerance for pain. With that squat challenge, like there's a point where your whole body is shaking and it just gives up on you. But on the KFC reward, where me and George were holding onto the pole and it was just about who could hold it the longest.
KFC.
That's when I can use those pain management techniques, the distraction and like reducing how threatening it is in my mind to make it feel less painful. Like that's when that can shine through.
Now, they've already spoken during episodes that George has upped his game. Now, you and George shared a podcast on Australian podcast, Blood versus Water, on strategy. Now, at that time, did you know you were coming back, or this was doing your first time? Oh, see.
But yeah, but we knew it. Me and George are good friends. We talk like very regularly. I knew he was coming back to the game. Yeah, that wasn't a massive secret because like if I get the call, I assume they're calling George as well about coming back into the game. And it's heroes versus villains. Like, is there a better villain?
No, no.
And then it's hard because like you have chats beforehand, and we didn't promise each other anything. We just talked about like, this is how I think your game could be improved. Maybe this would be a better way to do things. Like you just help each other with giving each other the best shot you have. But like, well, like why not? Like I've already won. But I didn't want to make any promises to anyone because you never know like what tribe you'll be on and who you'll be aligned with. So yeah, no promises. Do whatever you need to win. Like it's a ruthless game.
Now, okay, I can understand that, but it seems like nobody helped Simon. Simon just doing his own thing.
I helped Simon. He was going to go home, and I said, home. I helped. Simon's in the game because of me.
Simon is out there just having the time of his life. I know Sean is like, I know I should have got Simon out earlier. Now, yeah. We see a lot of idol play this season, and it's been impacting the game. A lot of idols been played correctly from sitting on the chair. What's your thoughts about the idols being played?
Yeah, good on the people who are finding the idols. Like, I felt like we often did know where the idols were a lot of the time. Yeah, like when Ben had an idol, he told me he had that. I knew that Shawnee had an idol that she went home with. That was actually part of why George and I decided to make a move on
Oh,
Shawnee
yeah.
because we had Liz, but also we knew that she had that idol. And that would just make her very dangerous going into the game. Yeah, idols are just a part of it. I feel like though some seasons the idol play is kind of the headline, and I feel
Mhm.
like this season it's not the headline. I feel like the strategy is the headline. Like people are like the way
Definitely.
people, and that's good because I don't want the advantages in the game to be the reason it's good. You want to be the people and their like cleverness. That's what's more interesting.
Looking at this season and going into tribal council, it has always been until the final vote is read, you never know exactly who's going home.
Yeah.
Now, we know we got Jeff Probst on this side over here. Y'all got LBJ, and he asks 1,000 questions. Are you ever sitting there saying, "Don't ask me a question. Just can you bypass me?"
Literally, like some people use tribal council as like their place to shine and like to like explain everything. I just avert my gaze. I don't want to like I don't want to make a show out of tribal council. I'm like, just like let's get in there and do this because so often now it can change in tribal. And yeah, you just so like if you say the wrong thing and you give
Yeah.
something up and suddenly the idol's getting played in the correct spot because you said something wrong, you looked the wrong way, like that's really bad. So it's like, hurry up, JLP, let's get this going.
We've seen that where somebody said the wrong thing and the vote is switched at tribal and they got voted out. This season has not been disappointing. So, from your time when you were on the Heroes tribe until they merged into one tribe, what is a couple of things that we didn't see that didn't make the edit that you're like, I wish people could have saw this?
Good question. There was like always a lot of like other plans that never come to fruition. There was a lot more content about Rogue. There's plenty of 10 days of that content you didn't get to see, which is probably good for everybody. What didn't you get to see? Like, honestly, it was very kumbaya over there. Like, it was just this big group alliance and winning challenges, making a shelter, like just kind of that like boring original Survivor stuff. Like you can go back to season 5 in America and watch that if you want. Like the gameplay is what was happening over the villains, and I feel like they were like improving, how well they knew each other and how they were going to play by going to tribal so much. Like it's not always an advantage to not go to tribal at all. That's why I was throwing challenges so that we could go to
It was,
tribal.
I mean, for a minute there, it just looked like the villains just couldn't get a win in the immunity challenges. And
It was stacked though. Like our starting tribe was stacked. Like we had Sean, he wins everything. Then we have another AFL player, David. We had really good throwers. Sam's amazing. People good at puzzles, endurance. Like we had them covered on every basis. Like
they stand a chance.
fair, but Survivor isn't fair.
Now, that was the first half of Survivor. Then you go to the merge, which it still seems like you had a little in because you and George communicated. At what point when you entered the merge and you weren't the biggest target, you said, you know what? I got to get George out.
It took a little while. I think it was when I gave the information to Nina to use that when they had 2 idols and they were going to use it to save Sam. I think I started realizing it wasn't just that George was the biggest player. It's that like he sucks all the air out of the room. Like he controls all the votes and all these people are just doing his bidding. So I just felt like the only way to play with George is you hide under him till the end and then you try to get rid of him. And like, that's not fun. Like, who is that fun for?
Are you sure you're on the right track? Did you really?
It,
did you really want to go over to the villain tribe a little while and just hang out and then come back?
Oh, I would love to start on the villain tribe. Have fun.
Okay. Hayley, so look, gotta ask you. Now, y'all get a lot of reward challenges with some of the best food. When I was on Survivor, I ate coconut and 1 crab leg. And I drank a lot of water. So, but y'all seem like y'all are having feast. Was the KFC chicken one the best?
Mm. Oh my God.
It just looked delicious.
The best for me was the breakfast. KFC was really good, but the breakfast one, like, I'm such a breakfast person. And what I miss the most out there is bread, butter, eggs, like all of those fats. And to get that and get coffee, like we were wired after the coffee. So like, and you get like this big pump up. I feel like KFC is delicious, but it's like, nah, breakfast for me every day. That was the best one.
Now you've had the opportunity to play Survivor twice. You won your season. You're in the top 7 in this season here. You played a masterful game. What would you tell somebody that wants to come on Survivor, and what do you take away from your time on Survivor?
I think the most important thing is you've got to back yourself, because I think where I got unstuck this season was trying to predict what the jury might do when they're voting. And I got worried that there wasn't many people I could win against. Now, that could be true. I don't know, because I never got there. And as a winner, it's like a hard stretch to say vote for me again. But I just thought, oh, I can barely beat anyone, so I need to start being really crafty so that I can make sure Simon's at the end or like Jerry's at the end, so I can try to play against them and beat them. But I think that was my downfall. If you just back your game, think you got to get there. Like, don't lose confidence at any point. Just keep backing your own game.
Now, I know we're coming on wrapping up. It's the Queen. I mean, Queen Hayley. Playing the game of Survivor it's one of those things a lot of people will want to play in their lives and may never get an opportunity to play. So I got to ask the question: if they make that call again.
Oh my God. I need a break. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I've played like twice in 2 years. I've got 87 days in 2 years on Survivor. I need a rest. Like, I'll never say never. Who knows what the future holds? Like, who knows what season they might bring up? If they do a US versus Australia, God, that would be so hard to say no to.
I mean,
that would be incredible. I think we
would
should
be.
do it. But like, I need a rest first. So we'll see. I want to have some kids, so that might take me out of the game for a little bit.
A little bit, hey, but they got moms been on Survivor. You come on back.
Queen
Hayley. I know Queen Hayley. It's been a pleasure. It was great watching you this season, and you lived up to your billing, coming in there as the queen, winner of Survivor your season, coming in this season and playing the game, showing strategy. It has been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much. And thanks for supporting the season. I love it.
Always. You have a wonderful day.
You too. See ya.